What's up, Stone Squad? Today we're talking about adding and subtracting rational functions. Rational just means that your input is going to be in the denominator. Alright, so our goal when we add and subtract, before we do this, I just want to go back to using numbers. So for example, if I have you add 1/2 plus 1/4, what is my common denominator? It's going to be 4, right? So then our goal is what? What do you have to multiply 2 to get 4? You have to multiply by 2. You have to multiply top by 2 to balance it out. And then here you just multiply by 1. So you just get 1, so you get 3/4. Alright, same concept. If I use variables, let's say I use 1x plus 1 over x squared. Right? My common denominator is what they both have in common. We have to take the bigger exponent of the 2. So my common denominator is actually x squared. Alright, so then what do you have to, let's use a different color pencil or pen. What do I have to multiply x to get x squared? You need another x there. So then you multiply top by x. So you have x there. And then we have to multiply x squared to get x squared. We don't have to multiply by anything, so we just have plus 1. And that's my answer. Alright, so you can see side by side, all we're doing is here, I could technically have said this was common denominator is 4 because it's 2 times 2. Well, what do they both have in common? They both have a 2 in common. I also need this 2 as well, so when you multiply 2 and 2, you get 4. But what happens when they don't have a common denominator? Like for example, if I do 1/2 plus 1/3, right? Then what do? How do you get the common denominator? What is it? Well, we know it's going to be 6. How? Because you multiply 2 and 3. So then when you do that, what do you have to multiply 2 to get 6? To multiply by 3. What do you have to multiply 3 to get 6? You have to multiply 2 to multiply top by 2. So we get 5, 6. Well, how does that translate when we do that with rational expressions? Well, let's go 1 over x over 1 over y. Right? X and y are totally different values. So what is my common denominator? Well, what I do here, I actually multiply them together to get that. I'm going to do the same exact thing here. Since they don't have any commonalities, we have to just multiply them together. That is my least common denominator. So with that, what do you need to multiply x? My goal is to get here to here. So what do you have to multiply x to get xy? What is missing? Well, I'm missing the y, so I have to multiply top by y. And also here, I'm trying to go from there to there. I have the y. What do I need to get xy? I need to multiply by x. So you multiply top by x. So the numerator, you have y plus x over x plus y. It's very similar to what we did here, right? X, y, x plus y, and this is x times y. Okay, so let's try another example real quick before we move on. If let's see, we have x squared minus 9 plus 1 over x plus 3. You have to factor to break it down to chunks so we don't overcompensate when we do our common denominator. So what I have to do is x squared minus 9 is difference of 2 squares. We could say that's x plus 3, x minus 3. And then we have the x plus 3 here. I like to put things in parentheses that tells us it has to be all or nothing. Now if you look at it this way, my common denominator, you see, the least common denominator, you see that they actually share this x plus 3. So I don't have to multiply these two together twice. I can just say my common denominator is x plus 3, x minus 3. I don't need to say x plus 3 twice because we show that here. So then, what do you have to multiply here to get there? Nothing, because they have that. So you just get 1. What do you have to multiply here? What's missing? X plus 3 to get here. I'm missing the x minus 3. So you have to multiply the top by x minus 3. So you have x minus 3 there. Combine the numerator. We're going to leave the denominator alone. So you have x minus 2 all over x plus 3, x minus 3. I will leave it alone like that. You don't have to distribute this back up. It doesn't make the problem any nicer or prettier, so we're just going to leave it like this. Alright, so that concludes our lesson for adding, subtracting rational expressions. Let's go on to our 3 problems, our basic, intermediate, and advanced level. Good job. Alright, let's try our 3 problems. Let's start with the first one, our basic. If I give you x minus 1, and I give you 5, and I give you x, if I give you x minus 1, 5, and x, what is my common denominator? I'm going to be about 30 seconds to a minute. I'll put parentheses here, so you know it's all or nothing. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Go. Alright, you guys tried it. Let's take a look. Because they're all different, it was like x and y, we had to multiply them together. So x minus y, 5, and x is all needed. So this is my common denominator. If I change this to, let's say, x minus 1 squared, right? Then what is my common denominator? Well, you still need the 5. I don't need this 3 times, I just need it twice. And that is my least common denominator. If you multiply this 3 times, then it's a common denominator, but you multiply x minus 1 too many times. Alright, good job. Let's try our intermediate level. Alright, intermediate level, let's try this one. 2x plus 1 minus 3x minus 1. Alright, I want you to subtract these guys, get a common denominator. What is it? And then multiply to the top so you can balance it out and then combine the numerator. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to a minute. Try your best, don't give up. If you get it wrong, we will fix it. I'll give you 30 seconds to a minute, go. Alright, welcome back. What is my common denominator? I need everything in here. So I need the x plus 1. I also need the x minus 1. So that is my common denominator. Now we have to figure out how can I get these denominators to look like that. So what do you have to multiply x plus 1 to get x plus 1, x minus 1? Or in other words, what are you missing? I'm missing the x minus 1 here. I'm missing the x minus 1 there. So if you technically get this. Okay, what's missing here to get there? I'm missing the x plus 1. So you multiply the top by x plus 1. If any minus problems, I like to put it in brackets so I don't have to worry about the negative until the very end. A lot of kids make the mistake on that because if they don't, they distribute to the x, but they don't distribute to the 1. So now their answer is incorrect. So then here you get 2x minus 2 minus bracket 3x plus 3. Then you could distribute this negative. So then you have 2x minus 2 minus 3x minus 3. Combine like terms, you get negative 2x minus 5 all over. Don't forget what we had in purple, x plus 1, x minus 1. And that is my answer. Alright, check your work, make sure you got it right, make sure your common denominator is correct, make sure you balance them, top and bottom, and make sure you distribute, be careful with the negative. Alright, let's try our advanced level. Let's get ready. Alright, our advanced problem, our last problem, right here, make sure you get a factor out first, and then see if there's any common denominators. You can multiply them together. Try your best, and you about 30 seconds to a minute. Good luck, go. Alright, welcome back, let's try this. So what is my common denominator? Well, we need to factor this guy out. So you have 3 times x plus 1. That's going to help you to see if there's any commonality on this side of the denominator. In this case, there isn't. So you have 3 times x plus 1 and then 2x. They're all different. I'll put parentheses there. So your common denominator is going to be everything. So we have to multiply all of that. So what do we have to multiply here to get that? We're missing the 2x. So you multiply top by 2x. So you have 8x there. What do you have to multiply 2x to get here? We need the 3 and the x plus 1. So I'll multiply top by 3x plus 1. So you have minus. Be careful with subtraction. I like to put subtraction and put the brackets on there to remind me to distribute that. A lot of kids make the mistake. So right now you have 12 x, and then you have plus 12. A lot of kids make this mistake on the subtraction part. They forget to distribute to the second guy. So you have 8x minus 12x minus 12 versus all that right there. And then my answer here, I'm going to go a little backwards. You have negative 4x minus 12. And here you have 6x, x plus 1. I'm just going to leave the bottom alone. And that's my final answer. So check your answer. Make sure your common denominators are correct. Make sure you distribute it correctly here. Make sure you factor out. You always have to factor out to see if they have any common factors together, so we don't have to count them twice or 3 times. All right, good job. All right, so finish our lesson with adding and subtracting rational expressions. Hopefully this video has helped you guys out. If it did, please subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications, and let's get ready for some other videos.